Welcome to Fargo Talks Fargo, an unofficial podcast on the FX television show. Fargo Talks Fargo is hosted by me, Bill Lempe, and my buddy Sharpie. Sponsors for this season of Fargo Talks Fargo are TAG, celebrating Fargo and the Midwest community through t-shirts, art, and graphics. For more information, visit tagfargo.com. And Fargo Brewing Company's Wood Chipper India Pale Ale with its bold hop flavor and velvety body. Grab a pint or visit them online at fargobrewing.com. Holy geez, it's the Hotdish. We're here with Fargo Talks Fargo. I'm Bill Lempe, also here in-house tonight with my man Sharpie. Sharpie.
Hey now, in Fargo, live and coming at you, but not live.
Shit getting real tonight. Sharpie is actually in studio tonight here in Fargo.
That's right.
Home for the special holiday. Briefly, very briefly. By the time we record the next episode, Sharpie, you will be somewhere in South Dakota.
Be off in the
well, what is obviously
yonder.
The wild, pale gray yonder.
The wild, pale gray yonder.
That is Fargo FX. So we just watched the show at your mom's house. Couldn't get any more high school.
We didn't. Not only did we watch it at my mom's house, we watched it in my mom's bedroom. Because that's where the working TV was.
We had a little trouble. We're going to make it, though. It's going to be fine.
We'll get there.
So, we should probably get to it.
So, the Hotdish, episode 2, just came out in the books.
Yes. It's happened.
We have some follow-ups to, things like Who Dead Next? We have...
And, hey,
I was not able to make a hot dish for the hot dish, which I said I was going to do.
Yeah, we were a little bummed.
I tried ordering a hot dish pizza, but those are not in season. Sometimes the local
you have
pizza
to have hot dish pizzas in season.
Sometimes the local pizza places have hot dish pizza where it's basically like a tater tot hot dish on top of a pizza, basically. So it's just like tater tot hot dish on a bread vehicle.
Yeah.
To get that to your face hole. But apparently, with spring coming up, hot dish pizzas are no longer in
Little
season.
known fact, tater tots, late April in Fargo, North Dakota. High demand. But we did pregame over at Fargo Brewing.
Yes, we
had
did.
some wood chipper. It was great.
Played some Cards Against
Humanity. So here's
Humanity.
the deal. So as the hot dish, we argued on the way over back to the studio to record.
Lots of things going on.
About the fact that we were all both just jacked up and we missed things. I don't know if it was just we were so excited to be together.
So excited to be together.
Or it was the fact that we were at your mom's
bellies.
house watching it with your lady friend and her friend Amber and your mom, and they were making comments too. Maybe it was all the above. But by tomorrow, this thing's going to be all broke down. But the Who Dead Next turns out, like I said, which was obviously a kind of easy thing, like somebody we haven't met yet.
Somebody we don't know. Yeah.
Turns out it was Lorne Melvo's equally shitty looking, but less funny doppelganger.
Yep.
Sad guy at strip club.
Just another douche canoe.
Ugh. Poor bastard. And he ended up in an ice hole.
That's right.
So on that topic, on that storyline, what was the number one comment right away from the entire watching audience at your mother's house was, A, there are way too little ice houses on that lake to be anywhere in this region.
Which is fine. I mean, that just means, hey, that particular lake isn't hot right now. I mean, there are certainly lakes out there that don't have...
Oh, I called bullshit on that, dude.
I don't know. It wasn't a hot lake. Why would you go put a guy...
Dude,
why would you go murder a guy when there's ice houses around?
Has nothing to do with murdering.
They clearly...
Every lake in Minnesota has a bunch of houses on it.
Clearly picked
guys
a lake
want to
that
get
didn't
the
have ice
hell
houses
away
on
from
it.
their families. That's the solace
That lake
of ice
was
fishing.
full of northern and...
God, whatever. All right, so that's the deal. So they go out there, they do it, and on top of that, the number one comment from the crowd where we were watching was, "There's a lot of mountainous looking territory
that was a big one
outside of Bemidji." We were like, the biggest thing we could think of was Detroit Mountain outside of Detroit Lakes.
Other folks might look at that and be like, "There's no mountains in there," but those hills that are surrounding the lake, those are mountains around here, and
hills,
those don't even exist.
Well, there's a couple here and there. You got Andy's
the
Tower,
dike.
Andy's
the
Tower
dike.
Hills in Alexandria. out by
Turtle Mountain.
out by Bemidji. I don't know. We'd have to consult a Bemidji expert. There's one out by Detroit Lakes.
Maybe we should bring a Bemidji expert in to weigh in on a show.
We got to start. Yeah, we got to start finding some like quick 5 to 10 minute call-in guests. So
there's got to be like a
so they quite effortlessly
economic development person in Bemidji that can
showed
clarify.
up on a lake, right? Drilled a hole using the ice auger, as you should, and deposited said fake doppelganger Lorne Malvo in the hole. Wrong place, wrong time. So sorry you didn't fulfill your $20 lap dance.
Mm-hmm.
So
Alive.
sad. Goodbye.
Dude.
Alive, yeah. He was still like, but I'm not dead yet. Very Monty
What
Python.
was that?
Bring out your dead.
Was it a leprechaun?
I don't know. You know what I mean? From Monty
But
Python.
I'm not dead. I'm not dead
I'm
yet.
not dead yet. It's all right. You will be. So we got that. We saw that.
We got Adam Goldberg.
We got
in the
Adam
picture.
Goldberg. We got
Glenn Howerton in the
Glenn
picture.
Howerton shows up where we had some disagreement about the.
Yeah.
We're gonna skip around because it's the hot dish. We're just like hammering this out 10 to 15 minutes.
So
we've got a note asking for money. Lorne's looking at it. He's amused, and at some point, he just bronzed Glenn Howerton's character. Forgive me for not remembering his name after watching the show really quick and then recording this podcast. Lorne turns the corner of that paper over and seems to notice some sort of stain on it. And,
there's a stain.
and I think it's the bronzer, but you seem to say that Lorne had some sort of cut on him that also deposited.
Well, there wasn't a visible cut, but he definitely had blood on his hands, as Reba McEntire
literally,
would say.
or just as a metaphor.
No, literally. It could have been tomato juice.
Tomato juice.
He might have spilled his V8. He seems like a guy that would drink V8.
He wasn't just knocked upside the head by a steering wheel, but he needs to get more vegetables. Get your V8.
Yep, 8 servings. I bet he's only fueled by V8.
Is that why he stays so thin?
I mean, we've seen him eat
and spiry
steak in the trailers. I don't know if we've seen him eat in the. Yeah, we have seen him eat in the show. I'm gonna just confirm. I'm just gonna go with the thought that he's only fueled by V8.
Hot tip, folks. Write that. Get that in your conspiracy blog. So
I don't care what anybody says.
I will say this Fargo crime syndicate has residents and people who grew up here in Fargo. This crime syndicate shit's getting pretty serious.
Yeah, it's getting real serious.
Yeah, and I thought it was just the the Amtrak stopped on the railroad was a big thing, and now we got a crime syndicate where they bring in big hitters.
There is a
from out of
building
town.
here on the main street that does say the syndicate.
The syndicate block, yeah, that's true.
That's probably them.
So they bring in
because being from Fargo, they're probably just honest about, hey, we are a crime syndicate.
We don't want to lie to you, folks.
Let's just
so we got people in-house coming to Bemidji from Fargo to avenge Sam Hess's death. More to come on that. New characters introduced.
Yep.
Deaf guy and Adam Goldberg's character.
Yep.
We suck at names. Can we agree with that right now? We don't have anything in front of us. We're literally just talking over my desk. So we got that going on. Plus we got I've got a BB in my hand. Ouch, it hurts.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
he's
I don't
really
like
complaining about that BB.
Yeah, I
got away with murder, and now he's like all flustered about this BB in his hand.
Midwestern people wouldn't talk about that shit.
You just rub it out.
Yeah.
Wait. That's not right. That's not
no,
right.
No, you wouldn't just rub it out.
You rub some dirt on it.
That's even worse.
You don't rub it out.
That's like the Cheech and Chong thing. I got my sword and I stuck it in the dirt. Okay, that's a completely different. That's the Corsican brothers.
You don't rub it out.
Don't
when
rub
you got
it.
a
Don't
BB
rub.
in your hand.
Don't rub it in the dirt. But definitely seek some ointment or cream about that.
Oh, come on. That's not any better.
So and Molly is just like the most pestering, un-Midwestern person. And I'm not saying I don't like it. It's part of the show, but she's chasing this down. She's had the bone. She's got the bone, and she's like
she's got the bone in her hand.
This is terrible. You know what I mean? Though she's had a little taste, and now she's
got a taste of the bone.
No, we're not doing this. She feels like she's on to something. Her hunch is like leading somewhere. And Bill is unfortunately in charge now that the chief is dead, and Molly's
which means his wife is available.
Well, yeah, I suppose. Oh, geez. But Molly's stuck behind, dipshit McGee here, who is very obviously not chasing the right crime scene down.
Well, Lester, I mean, come on. He couldn't hurt a fly.
No, I mean, he could never whack a gal in the head with a hammer, which he decides to go back and visit. Proof positive. We could visit this tomorrow. Hey, I got a murder weapon. What should you do with it? Well, don't drive it away from your place. Stash it in your house and go have a little chat with it later after the fact. Probably proof pudding that he sucks balls at being a criminal.
He sucks balls at being a criminal, but he's also very emotionally
and he's at his brother's house. All sorts of stuff going on there.
Yeah, he's not dead yet.
I gotta admit, goes to the kids' room. My first thought was, oh my God, they're gonna bring back the jar of urine.
Of course,
because
and he smells it.
Little guy's got the autism.
Like he's questioning whether or not it was urine, even though he's been told what's in there.
It's urine.
He's like, well, what is this? Could it be? Maybe it's apple juice.
I'm
gonna take a big whiff.
Is that a Midwestern thing? You ever notice we taste things sometimes, and I don't know if it goes on around the country where we like, oh my God, that tastes like shit. Try this. And it's kind of that moment where you're like, oh, what is that? Is that a jar of piss? I'm gonna sniff it.
Let's sniff
I just need to make sure it's not Mountain Dew.
Let's confirm.
Or maybe he's fermenting. Gordo is fermenting wine in the closet. Probably not. So obviously Sam Hass is important enough to bring in some hitmen. And they're everything's still slightly unraveling over the murder of Lester Nygaard's wife.
We got some unraveling going on. Yep.
And we're introducing to new characters,
all kinds of
more mysteries surrounding Lorne Malvo and what Duluth, I'm using air quotes here, Duluth is up to, and a obviously hilarious little scene in the post office where the guy's like, everything's addressed to Duluth. And I also had one of those Midwest moments where I'm like, Duluth's a pretty big freaking town. I have a hard time. I felt like they were getting the mail in a church basement.
I think that was a church basement.
Felt like it.
But Duluth is big enough to have a post office.
Yeah. But that's our thing, is to sit here and give our take on the areas from here.
I've definitely seen post offices that look exactly like that. That they're
like in Flum,
run
Minnesota?
like that they're run out of a church basement or a high school or
across the
something
streets,
like
the
that.
co-op and the cafe.
The guy's mopping the giant gymnasium floor.
Well, that's his only job. Cut him some slack. So
I did love the butcher being seen through the window of the supermarket in
just consistently hacking away at something, not in a precise manner. So I feel like that's what we got. I mean, and we're probably missing a bunch of stuff.
That's the gist.
That's what we're doing. We're trying to keep these things under 15 minutes, so we're nearing that point. So I don't know. We didn't even talk about Gus Grimley and visiting with his daughter, and now, of course, we've created the question of where's mother.
Yep.
And what's
we
going on
need to
there.
get into Gus Grimley. We have a lot to talk about.
And we didn't even talk about the crocodile's dilemma from last week,
touch
where we
base
think
on
we had
that.
it wrong, maybe. And
we're definitely wrong on the crocodile's dilemma. We can give a shout out to the folks at FX Fargo on Twitter. At FX
that's
Fargo.
at FX Fargo.
I think they nailed it. We'll dive into that tomorrow.
Yeah. So
because there's a lot to cover.
Hope you enjoyed the show. Here we are, me, Bill Lempe, Sharpie, in Fargo tonight, actually for this.
In Fargo.
We're going to go grab another beer
only.
And not make any sense of anything we watched over another beer, but we're going to do it anyway for you folks. And we hope you tune in tomorrow. We'll release another episode. We will have Diane Miller from the High Plains Reader here on the show, who is the writer and editor for the High Plains Reader, and it's going to be awesome. So tune in. We'll see you then.
Yep. Thanks for listening to The Hot Dish.